Straight ahead on CCX News. Day one on the job. You'll get to meet Brooklyn Park's new fire chief. Plus, a local high school student trying to bring something new to Golden Valley. It's her way of promoting peace in the community. And we'll meet the CEO of a Brooklyn Park company whose business, you could say, is a sign of the times. CCX News starts right now. We'll have more on those stories in just a moment, but first, as we went to air, Brooklyn Park Police continued its search for a missing 11-year-old girl. Police released this photo of the girl. According to police, the child, identified as Tanisha Tenen, has been missing since at least 3 a.m. Monday. She was last seen in the Norwood neighborhood on the east side of Brooklyn Park. According to police, the child walked away after an argument with her mother. Police also say the child's living conditions are concerning and the girl's mom has not been cooperative. The child's siblings have been removed from their home while the case gets sorted out. If you see the missing child or you have any information, please call 911. It was a tragic and deadly weekend on Twin Cities highways for motorcycle riders. 2 incidents had ties to our CCX News viewing area. And Eric Nelson joins us now with more. Eric?
Yeah, Shannon, the carnage on the roadways meant it was a devastating Father's Day weekend for some families. Dating back to Friday, there were 4 motorcycle accidents resulting in 5 deaths, including 2 with connections to the Northwest Metro. The first crash happened Friday night in Brooklyn Center. 55-year-old Robert Schmidt of Ham Lake was trying to go from northbound Highway 100 to eastbound I-694, but crashed into a concrete barrier. He was pronounced dead early Saturday morning. Also early Saturday, 48-year-old Corey Ray Jones of Robbinsdale died near the I-494 and Highway 100 junction in Bloomington. No other vehicle was involved. There have now been 19 motorcycle riders who have died on Minnesota roads this year, compared to 14 at this time last year.
That's a huge concern. It's a tragedy for Minnesota's riding community. I think Minnesota's got a pretty close-knit riding community. People love riding up in Minnesota, despite that we're a cold weather state. We rank in the top dozen for registered operators of motorcycles in the country. People love their motorcycles here.
Yes, the arrival of summer means there are more motorcycles on the highways. Riders get a chance to enjoy warm weather and experience the freedom of the open road. But there is also a huge risk factor. Safety experts encourage motorcyclists to use helmets and wear brightly colored protective gear. Meanwhile, drivers in cars and trucks should always look twice for bikers before entering a highway or changing lanes. As for motorcyclists, it's crucial to expect the unexpected.
You've got to really keep your head in the game when you're on a bike, because if you're in a crash, outcomes aren't very good. So you've got to always be scanning for hazards, moving your eyes around, anticipating hazards, evaluating potential hazards, and ready to take action in a minute's notice. So.
Now, counting cars and motorcycles, the total number of deaths on the road in Minnesota last weekend was 11. That's the most in a single weekend since mid-October of 2016. The Department of Public Safety also wants bicycle riders to pedal with caution. So far, 2 bicyclists have died in Minnesota compared to 0 at this time last year. Shannon?
All right, thank you, Eric. The race to replace 5th District Congressman Keith Ellison took a turn over the weekend. The DFL party endorsed State Representative Ilhan Omar. The endorsement is a symbolic gesture. Her 4 other DFL opponents say they will continue on to the August primary. Omar has gained national attention after becoming the first Somali American to serve in a state legislature. On the Republican side, there are 3 candidates. The party endorsement went to Jennifer Zielinski, an Allina Health employee. The 5th District includes the cities of Golden Valley, Robbinsdale, Crystal, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. It's the first day on the job for Brooklyn Park's new fire chief. John Cunningham has been involved with firefighting since he was a kid. His first taste of the job was an explorer in Greenwich, Connecticut. He liked it enough that he signed up for the fire department there, rising to deputy chief before becoming chief of Elk River's department. Cunningham replaces Chief Ken Prilliman, who resigned last year after conflicts with a city council member. Cunningham says it's too early to decide what direction he'll take Brooklyn Park's fire department. Instead, he'll take the first few months to observe.
For the new chief coming in, it's to look, listen, and learn, to talk to the firefighters, talk to the community, talk to everyone that I can to learn everything about the organization and the firefighters that work day and night to protect the community.
The new chief did say that he's very impressed with the professionalism and capabilities of the fire department. Some new faces at Brooklyn Park's police department as well. 5 new officers were sworn in on Monday. The new officers come to the department from all different backgrounds. Some have previous law enforcement experience, and some worked at places like insurance agencies and even Costco. As Chief Craig Envelson administered the oath of office to the 5 new officers, their training officer proudly looked on. He says it's one of the best new officer classes he's ever seen.
Their personalities, I think, are the right fit for the job. I think they have the right work ethic to, to deal with the long shifts and all of the other things that come along with this job.
The training isn't over for the new officers either. They will spend the next several months with on-the-job training with experienced officers. A Hopkins high school student wants to display public art in Golden Valley. Eve Clarkson says it will be more than just something to look at. She says it's a way to welcome people to her city. The Golden Valley Farmers Market kicked off its summer season on Sunday with vendors filling up the parking lot near City Hall.
This is a jar of pea soup in mason jars.
Eve Clarkson plans to be a part of the market come August, selling her mix of peace soup.
And I'm just going to sell these, and I'm going to say a suggested donation of $10.
She's promoting peace soup as a way to raise money for a peace pole. An idea she had to run by the city, but first she ran it by someone else.
And I asked my mom, I was like, do you think it would be a good idea to ask if we could have a peace pole in Golden Valley? And she's like, yeah, that would be a really good idea.
You might have seen a peace pole before and not realize exactly what it was. Here's a peace pole on display in the cafeteria of the Osseo Learning Center in Brooklyn Park. The first peace pole went up in Hiroshima, and now there are hundreds all around the world.
There's a traditional one, so it's just wood, and then there's white with, you can do 4, 8, 12, or 16 languages.
The languages all say, may peace prevail on earth.
I was enthusiastic about Eve Clarkson's idea for a peace pole in Golden Valley. It seems like a great fit.
Councilmember Jillian Rosenquist has known Eve for a long time and helped her get the project started.
When she brought it to me, I immediately contacted our city manager, who knew this was a great fit for our new Golden Valley Arts group. That group has an application process, and they work with artists and people who'd like to donate pieces of art.
The peace pole could be installed near the Golden Valley Water Tower.
We will have this put outside in a place where when people are driving through our city, they know that they are welcome no matter what language they speak.
And then I also want to add flowers that are rainbow around it because of the LGBTQ population in Golden Valley.
The process for a peace pole has been a learning experience for Eve, but she is confident the public will get behind her quest for peace by way of a peace pole and peace soup. Eve Clarkson is the teen representative on the Golden Valley Human Rights Commission, and she plans to be out selling her peace soup at International Day at the Farmers Market on August 12th. The Golden Valley City Council still must give final approval on the peace pole. Still ahead on CCX News, where there's a big event, there's likely a sign. We'll take you inside a Brooklyn Park company that's usually behind it. Plus, it's championship day for the Heritage Christian Academy baseball team. That story coming up later in sports. But first, continuing a nicer week. Temperatures only reached the lower 80s on Tuesday. Most major corporations have their own marketing departments, but that doesn't mean they do all the work themselves. As Delane Cleveland reports in this week's Business Matters, when trade shows or big events come along, businesses have turned to Brooklyn Park-based Star for help with displays, signage, and everything in between.
This past winter,
what's up, man? Welcome to Minnesota. Tough. How's the flight in?
Super Bowl 52 made Minnesota the center of the sports universe. It was a week of big events filled with big displays from corporate sponsors. And if you happen to make your way downtown for the Super Bowl live festivities, you may have seen the Doritos outdoor display on Nicollet Mall.
We did a lot of activations with the Super Bowl.
Mark Johnson is the CEO of Brooklyn Park-based Star Exhibits and Environments. His company was behind behind that Doritos display.
We're about 40% over last year's first quarter because of the Super Bowl and a few things.
But the Super Bowl is just a small part of this company's vast portfolio, which dates back to 1993.
When we started the company 25 years ago, we really wanted to be something different and be more of a marketing extension or an extension of our client's marketing department.
Star is an international company that produces displays and other visuals for clients, with all of the work done here at the company's new 200,000 square foot Brooklyn Park campus.
And yeah, we do have a full production facility here, so we've got, carpenters that are actually on facility building the properties as we go.
But before the carpenters even get to this point, Johnson and his staff spend time generating ideas with their clients.
In many cases, it's a brainstorming session that includes the customer, our designer, and even our carpenters are involved with it and how we're going to create it.
They hold these brainstorming sessions in conference rooms that are quintessentially Minnesota.
We have 4 set aside that are dedicated for our clients.
You have the Purple Rain room for Prince, the Schultz room in honor of Charles Schultz and the Peanuts Gang, the Dylan room for Bob Dylan, and the Oz room in honor of Judy Garland.
Which is a place where we actually get to showcase our big presentations, and then we have the big theatrical reveal where it goes ta-da.
It's an important moment for Star's clients, a moment that Johnson is happy to be providing in Brooklyn Park.
We really do appreciate what the city and the community's done to support us.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Thank you, Delane. Still ahead, one thing people really wanted to see at Brooklyn Park's Tater Daze Festival. But first, Benilde St. Margaret's takes on Prior Lake in the State Boys Lacrosse Championship. John Jacobson has the highlights coming up in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Heritage Christian Academy baseball team sure made the most of their first trip to the state tournament. Their win over Parker's Prairie in the semifinals put the Eagles into the Class A championship game. And with ace Seth Halverson ready to start on the mound, it turned into a very memorable day for Heritage. After a 4-hour-plus rain delay, it's Heritage versus Sleepy Eye with a Class A title at Target Field. Halverson, very first pitch of the bottom of the first inning, drives it into the left field stands for a home run. A great sign for Heritage. They quickly take a 1-0 lead. Sleepy Eye gets a few base runners, but Halverson strikes out the last batter in each of the first 4 innings to escape any and all jams. In the second inning, Taylor Broderson knocks it to deep left. The fielder slips, but it's over his head into the warning track anyway. Johnny Flynn scores. Halverson is not far behind. Heritage's lead grows to 3-0. Broderson then departs for a courtesy runner. Ironically, on a day that started with a few hours of rain, Broderson's 4th inning fly ball is lost in the sun by the left fielder. Halverson trots home with the Eagles' 4th run of the game. They add another in the inning, and they go up 5-0 through 4. Halverson isn't done in the 5th with 2 men on. He goes deep again into the Target Field left field bleachers. He's 3 for 3 with 4 runs and 4 runs batted in and 2 home runs. And he finishes the game and the season in style, striking out his 16th batter of the game. And the celebration is on. Heritage Christian wins 8-0 to claim the state title in their first trip to state after 5 straight section final losses.
Yeah, it's a hard feeling to top for sure. Just being here, at Target Field, came here expecting to win, but not like that. And with the team that we have surrounding us, with all the positivity, and you hear our dugout the entire time.
It's unreal. I mean, 5 straight years. It's just such a relief to get to here and then to win it all. It's just amazing. It makes all that heartache in the early part of June, the last 5 years, all completely worth it.
Congratulations to the Eagles, who finished the season with a 23-3 record. Halverson, Broderson, and Flynn were named to the all-tournament team. The Benilde St. Margaret's boys lacrosse team was ranked #1 most of the season, and they were the top seed for the state tournament. The Red Knights reached the state championship game where they met Prior Lake. Knights passing by Benilde here. Jack Van Overbeek to Quinn Eland to Jerome Newhouse. He skips a shot in for a goal, and it's a 3-2 Red Knights lead in the first quarter. But the Lakers would score the next 4. Second quarter, Benjamin Jung converts on the pass. Prior Lake takes a 6-3 lead into halftime. The Red Knights will come back in the third quarter. Eric Weber to Elon for the shot and goal here, ties it at 6, and it was 7-7 heading into the fourth. First minute of the fourth quarter, Patrick Burns to Van Overbeek, and he rifles a shot in for an 8-7 Benilde lead. But that would be their last lead of the game. Jung with a pass to Luke Blodo, who turns and fires, and Prior Lake is in front 8-7. Up 9-8 with just over a minute to play. Prior Lake seals the win. Alex Rada nets his fourth goal of the night as the Lakers hand Benilde St. Margaret's their first loss of the season. Red Knights are state runner-up for the second straight year. Prior Lake wins its second championship in 3 seasons. The All-Star Baseball Series is this weekend in Chaska, and we have several local players competing. We'll have more on that later this week here on CCX News. That's it for sports. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thank you. It may have been oppressive heat with tropical dew points here in the northwest suburbs, but at Grandma's Marathon in Duluth over the weekend, the conditions were close to perfect with much cooler temperatures. Here are some of the top local finishers for their age group. 40-year-old Lance Volker of Robbinsdale finished 9th in his age group with a time of 2 hours, 51 minutes and 44 seconds. That's 6 minutes and 33 seconds per mile for all 26.2 miles if you're counting. 57-year-old Patricia Langham of Maple Grove was the only local woman to place in the top 20 for her age group. She finished 5th in her age category with a time of 3 hours and 53 minutes. Other top local runners include 60-year-old Daniel Johnson of Crystal, who finished under 3 hours and placed 2nd in his age group, and 74-year-old John Torgerson of Maple Grove finished 3rd in his age group, completing the marathon in just under 4 hours. That is amazing. Congratulations to all of the finishers. Still ahead, rainy weather did not prevent the show from going on at Brooklyn Park's Tater Daze Festival. Well, in the end, we'll put you in the cockpit at the Crystal Airport open house. We'll be right back. Brooklyn Park's annual Tater Daze Festival included a behind-the-scenes look at the city's police department. Residents could take a peek inside the department's holding cells. They could also experience a canine demonstration. There was fun for the kids too, with inflatables and bungee jumping. And what's a festival without food, of course? And there was plenty of it, as several food truck vendors set up shop outside the Community Activity Center, offering everything from barbecue to, of course, tater tots. And what else at Tater Daze? Busy weekend this weekend. We will leave you today with sights and sounds from the Crystal Air Show, which has also become a Father's Day tradition. Planes have been flying in and out of the Crystal Airport since the 1940s, and there are more than 40,000 landings and takeoffs here every year. Despite the hot day, people enjoyed the planes and much more on Sunday.